Welcome to Finding Holiness, the podcast to help you discover your sacred sanctum in life. I'm Rabbi David Kadosh. Based on Jewish sources and Torah values, I invite you to come and learn, gain insight, be inspired, and make your life more meaningful. I hope you enjoy this next episode. Okay, we'll just say a few divrei Torah. Li'ulu nishmat Mesod ben Mesoda shayom pekidat chodsho. We are in the parashiot of Matan Torah, of Har Sinai. Of course, last week, Parashat Yitro, we spoke of the actual Matan Torah, the Ten Commandments. But even Parashat Mishpatim, with all the civil laws that it contains, Rashi begins by saying, Ve'ele HaMishpatim, to connect this week's parasha to last week's parasha, that just like the Ten Commandments were on Har Sinai, so too even the civil laws that we're learning were from Har Sinai. And in fact, the end of the parasha, of Parashat Mishpatim, actually goes back to what happened right prior to the giving of the Torah. It's when the Jews say Na'aseh v'nishma. It's found in this week's parasha. I want to go back, with your permission, to a very famous Gemara, quoting the pasuk from last week. Right before the giving of the Torah tells us, "Vayotze Moshe et ha'am likrat Elohim min ha'machaneh." That Moshe brought the people forth from the camp towards Hashem. Vayityatzvu betachtit hahar, and they stood at the bottom of the mountain. And of course, the Mefarshim, some of you are familiar with this Gemara, question the use of language betachtit hahar, which seems to sound at the bottom of the mountain. So Rashi here says, Lefi pshuto beragle hahar. According to a simple explanation, it means at the foot of the mountain. However, umidrasho shenitlash hahar mimekomo, that the mountain dislodged from its place, venichpa lehem kegigit, and that's what the Gemara here says, that Amar Rabbi Chama bar Chasa melamed shekafa kadosh baruch hu alehem et hahar kegigit. God lifted up the mountain like a bathtub. Ve'amar lahem im atem mekabelim haTorah mutav. And if you accept the Torah right here, right now, then great. Ve'im lav, if not, sham teheh kevuratchem. There is where your burial is going to be, meaning this is the end of all of you. And of course, the Gemara continues to explain shortly afterwards that although it seemed that the Jewish people were forced to accept the Torah, at that moment, when it came the time of Purim, in the time of Mordechai ve'Esther, kimu ve'kiblu ha'Yehudim, they re-accepted the Torah, what they already accepted, but with ahava. And that's a very famous Gemara. The Jews, there was Kiviyachol, this mountain on top of the Jewish people at that moment. However, some of the great Hasidic luminaries, they want to say that Sham teheh kevuratchem is actually a modern day lesson in our connection with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When a person is constantly focused on Sham, when a person is always has his eyes on what is there, and there could be either what is behind you or what is in front of you, the past or the future. When you're stuck in the past about something that didn't go well in your life, or something that you don't understand, some tragedy or loss of employment, or an injury, whatever it is, or the future that is unknown to many of us, and we find ourselves in doubts, both back there and forward are Sham. When it's Sham, then you know you're going to suffer a spiritual death. Because when you're too focused on the past, and you're too focused on the future, Sham teheh kevuratchem, that's the end of you. Because you have no control over what's going to be in the future, and what happened, the past is avar. That's why avera is from avar. That's it. There's nothing to question. There's no emunah. What we have to focus on, this key to spiritual success and our connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, is right here, right now. Akshav, the present time. Where is Hashem in our lives? Right here and right now. Living with the Torah requires a constant connection. Akshav. That's why the word Sham has the same gematria as Yachshov. When you start thinking about what happened, lachshov. When you start thinking about what happened in the past or what's going to be in the future, your emunah is shaking. It's not stable. Your focus has to be right here and right now. The hayom im bekolot tishma'u. That's what the pasuk says. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with me as long as I call out for him, as long as I feel a connection with him. And that was in essence what this pasuk is saying, according to this great the tzaddikim, the chasidei mefarshim, that say, Sham teheh keburatchem. When you're focused on something that is beyond your comprehension and beyond your ability to change, then there's no way that you can live a stable life. Our purpose, our goal, as we read through these parashiyot, there's mitzvah after mitzvah, whether it's mitzvot ben adam lamakom, between ourselves and God, which were pretty much up until now, and then we have this week's parasha with our mitzvot ben adam lachavero. When we deal with our friends in business, when we deal with our friends and the way we speak to them, and how we treat the orphan and how we treat the widow, so on and so forth, everything that's going to come out from now is all about the present. What can I do at this moment to increase my connection, ben adam lachavero, and of course ben adam lamakom? When a person focuses on now, then you know he's set up for spiritual success. If not, chas v'shalom, a person spiritually is doomed. And this is the inyan that we have to take with us. Be'ezrat Hashem, we should have the koach to understand this idea, to instill this very, very powerful concept, to build our kesher and our emunah with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Rabbi Hananiah ben Akasha Omer, Ratzah HaKadosh.
Thank you for tuning in to the Finding Holiness podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and review. Post about it on social media and share it with others. To sponsor an episode in memory or in honor of a loved one, click the link atop our website at www.findingholiness.com, the destination where you can find all the episodes archived by topic. Until next time, remember that holiness matters.